needle movers at some point in time. But look at what Boston did. Look at Milwaukee. Obviously the Suns. And don't sleep on the Houston Rockets. They might be kind of, I don't know if they're a playoff team yet. I don't know that. But I know that Fred VanVleet makes them a lot better. What's your take on the Eastern Conference?
Shifted a little bit. I think with the questions with Boston was, okay, Marcus Smart, gone, heart and soul defensively, play point guard. How do you replace that? Well, you go get Drew Holiday. Oh, I mean, that in itself solidified. Well, now you had to give up what I thought was one of the better post defenders, rim protectors, in Robert Williams. How you replace that is going to be the question that has to be answered in Boston.
And a lob threat as well.
Yes.
It was, but all the chips are pushed in the middle. You love to see that kind of urgency from organizations. Williams throws it down.
And you figure it out now. Again, you see what we see at the beginning of the year. That doesn't mean there can't be any mid-season trades. And when the trade deadline comes up, you get some people, out of buyout. So it's set right now, but it's still some movement that can be made during the course of the year.
Well, that buyout market is much different now with the new CBA, and I got to be honest, I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it from a selfish position that the Clippers were always buyers in that environment, always looking to add his coffee for three. Rebound tapped around, and it goes to Utah. If you are over the cap, I believe you are not allowed to participate. And Boston, I believe Milwaukee, certainly the Clippers, Warriors, teams like that, they're not going to be able to be involved in those kind of buyouts. Williams tries to get free, done. We told you, he is an elite defender. Yurtseven inside, counted it a foul.
Well, when you turn it over in transition, the defense is going to be compromised on the opposite end of the court, meaning that the offense team is going to have numbers, and that's what happened. Shot goes up, the ball, you want to get it out quick, but you got to read the defense, and by not doing that, you have three players from the Clippers on their side of the court, leaving Kobe Brown basically by himself to defend the breadth of the lane, and Yurtseven able to catch, finish, and he didn't complete double fast in three-point play.
12 turnovers for the Clippers, but the starting unit had only 6.
Yes, at halftime, so kind of figured that's the, again, coaching staff is going to talk to the young players about value in the basketball, of course, but you did want to see some value in the first unit of taking care of the rock.
If you're just joining us, we talked about the priorities for Ty Lue. I confirmed it with him. Keontae George knocks down a 3. It was turnovers, it was conditioning, and it was rebounding. And that was essentially the first hour and a half. And when you based it on conditioning, it was the entire practice on Monday. And I give the players credit. They ran. And I didn't feel, while they were all fatigued, they were tired, I didn't feel any of them couldn't handle it. I didn't feel like any of them were like, I got to stop, I'm not in great shape. I thought they were all in great shape. And as the week went on, the intensity in that conditioning element kind of lessened a little bit, but they still played a lot of live basketball. Fontecchio knocks down the 3.
But go back to this. Listen, it's not sexy, but the reason why Miami was able to compete and get to a championship is they rebounded and they didn't turn the basketball over, okay? Maybe not the most talented team, but when they took advantage of when other teams made mistakes. And that's something from the Clippers' perspective you look at. Value the basketball. Don't give your opponents opportunities to score off your miscues, okay? Now the balance shifts a little bit more, and you can get more opportunities on the offensive end to get some shots out.
Ty talked about winning the possession game. Felt good about our chances. When we win that possession game, we're going to have a great shot to win the overall game. Jordan Miller with the interception and the finish.
Nice anticipation to Miller. Another area, too, I like to see. Last year, Clips were 11th in free throw attempts per game. I believe that they could be a team that could be in the top 5. Right at the top of the ledger was the Lakers at about 26. You say with 3 free throws, doesn't mean, but it does mean a lot from where you're at.
Moon, a little wild at the iron, and rebound goes to Diabate. Kobe Brown for 3. talk about those free throws. I think that's still not bad, 11th in the league, but when Kawhi misses 20 games,
Yes.
PG misses 20 games, and then the other guy that we don't talk enough about, the foul magnet, Norman Powell, also missing 20 games. So you have those guys that are so great at getting to the free throw line.
There's Miller right here, cross-court pass. You got to see through the defense. Miller identifies where the defense is at and able to score. You know, I'm going to put a cap, too, on the turnover stuff. When Golden State was rolling, when they were deep, they turned the ball over a lot. But their offense and their talent allowed them to make it up. But once that talent kind of decreased, see those turnovers last year, how much it cost them?
But look at their defensive rating, though, in those championship years.
That's what I'm saying. So defense and their offense and their talent was able to offset them turning the basketball over at a high level, okay? So you always have exceptions to the rule. But once their defense couldn't create and couldn't get stops and their offense wasn't as potent, those free throws were astronomically even more impactful.
Went above the 5-minute mark. Here in the fourth quarter, Coffee rumbling down the lane, floats it. No. The rebound will be credited, the bucket to Diabate. He will certainly take the credit. I think it might have been tapped in by a Jazz man.
What a young fella. Listen, when you're around the basket, when in doubt, if it goes up and in and you're close, put your hand up. It's me. Need that too.